indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence for our men and women who are fighting for our freedom every day. Please be seated.
Notice the requirements of the Open Public Meeting Law have been satisfied concerning this meeting. The home issue in the Star Ledger published the notice on December 18, 2015, as so noted in the minutes of the meeting, and is also posted on the bulletin board at Town Hall. Councilman Anderson. Here. Councilwoman De Jesus. Here. Councilman Ficarra. Here. Councilman Major. Here. Councilwoman Meehan. Here. Councilman Small. Here. Councilman Spiller. Here. Vice President Luna. Here. And President Trump.
Here.
Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the regular meeting and the work session for March 15, 2016?
Make a motion. Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. We have two second reading ordinances this evening, starting with letter A, which is a bond ordinance providing for aid for Port Reading redevelopment project located in the Port Reading redevelopment area in the amount of $6,070,000. Can I get a motion that this ordinance be taken up on second and third reading and the public hearing be open?
Make a motion. Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on letter A only. Seeing no comment, can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Make a motion. Second.
Any comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Letter B is an ordinance authorizing directing that title and possession of certain real property located at 103 North James Street be acquired by the Township of Woodbridge. Can I get a motion that this ordinance be taken up on second and third reading and the public hearing be open?
Make a motion. Second.
Any comments or questions from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on letter B only. Seeing no comment from the public, can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Make a motion. Second.
Any comments or questions from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Letters C, D, and E are first reading ordinances. By consent, can I get a motion that the ordinances be passed on first reading, published in the Home News Tribune on April 8, 2016, with notice of public hearing to be held on April 19, 2016 at 7 p.m.
Make a motion. Second.
Any comments or questions from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. You have 35 resolutions listed tonight. Can I get a motion to approve numbers 1 through 35 as consent?
Make a motion. Second.
Any comments or questions from council?
Councilman Ficarra.
Thank you, Council President. I just want to point out resolution number 21, the Healthy Meetings Resolution. It's being initiated from the Mayor's Wellness Committee. And basically what it's suggesting is some of the dietary guidelines that are available to all Americans. These are federal guidelines that we actually have a resolution for anything involving government work. When we have meetings, as we are now, some of these meetings go long, and we tend to sit. We don't get a lot of exercise, but what we can do is eat healthy food. So this is a resolution. If you guys agree on it, we'll pass it out. Mr. Mitch, if you can let all the departments know if they're in favor of this resolution, I was the author of it. If they're against it, Ricky was the author of it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for that explanation. Anybody else? Councilman Spiller?
Council President. Resolution number 33. What that is we're going into an agreement with the developer, Primrose, for Cedar Meadows, which is the old prison warden site. What we're looking for there is housing for the developmentally disabled as well as recreational facilities. So that's what that's about.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Any other comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
We'll now go to the public portion of the meeting. If you're interested in commenting, go to the microphone in the back, state your name, where you live, and you have a maximum of 5 minutes.
5 minutes, wow. Next is going to be 3. Good evening, Council President Gerard Clark of Hope Lawn. I got some things here tonight. I only got 5 minutes, so let's get right to it. Ordinance number E, an ordinance authorizing the execution and delivery of a financial agreement
What number was that? I'm sorry.
E. By and between the Township of Woodbridge and PSE&G Fossil Seawarren Urban Renewal Entity. Is that the power plant?
It's a pilot for the power
Ooh,
facility.
we're giving them another pilot, right? They never had one before.
I'm just answering your question.
It is a pilot. For how long?
It's a pilot for the power facility.
How long?
How long is the pilot? I'm not aware of that. 30 years.
All right, okay. So they're going to be selling power to the people at a reduced rate with taxpayer money.
Power facility.
Okay, that's good. Okay, another one here. Got to keep moving here. Number 19, resolution authorizing the planning board of the Township of Woodbridge to undertake a preliminary investigation to determine if certain real property in the Ford section of Woodbridge Township is an area in redevelopment. What section is that?
I believe that is behind Arlington Drive, Councilman Delina, off of Ford Avenue.
And what's going to be back there? Do we know, or what?
Nothing at this time.
Nothing at the moment.
It'll be housing, or what?
We're authorizing the planning board to undertake a preliminary investigation.
Is it a big piece of property
That's the resolution.
on there? Okay.
I don't have the dimensions.
Nothing on that. Okay, another thing. In the news, it's been lead in the water in the schools and stuff like that. Are you aware of that? Have you heard that throughout the state and throughout the country? Are we doing anything in the Township of Woodbridge to test for lead in our older pre-war schools?
I would have to suggest that Mr. Landolfi take.
Let me say two things. It's my understanding that the Board of Education is undertaking testing. However, it's more properly addressed, that's the second point, to the Board of Education.
So they're looking into it, and
Well, like he said, just to reiterate, that would be a question that you'd have to raise to the school board.
well, I mean, you got the health department here, and they dictate to the schools on
Mr.
the.
Zavalka, if you would just do that, that's a suggestion that we have for you.
Well, I got the health department here. You know, all right, okay, no answer. Big Wheels Day was pretty good over there, over at Woodbridge Center and stuff. They had all the good trucks in there like that. Who ordered that purple truck? There was a purple truck there. Did you see
I
it?
wasn't there, I'm sure Director.
What was that, for sewage?
I think that was Barney.
I don't know.
Barney.
Barney.
Yeah, so you got a purple truck in town. It's pretty cool. We call him Barney in there. It's pretty good. You didn't have that Manzi mucker there or whatever. So you guys, I heard it was broken down. It's not broken down, or we still have it, or what?
I'm not aware.
We still have it? All right.
It's in the garage, it was resting.
Resting, okay. Make sure you still got it over there. So that's pretty
We
good.
decided to bring Barney out instead.
Bring Barney out. Nah, it was a brand new truck and it's purple. Okay. February 16th meeting, you had an ordinance on the second reading, amend section 7-39-1, regulation for the movement and parking of traffic on municipal and Board of Education property to add Woodbridge High School, Colonial High School, JFK High School, Woodbridge Center, and Woodbridge Center Mall. Woodbridge Community Center and Woodbridge Center Mall. What are we doing up at the mall that's going to be municipal?
Mr. Mitt said that was for police parking. Police parking?
Police
Police
duty?
vehicles.
Oh, okay. That's pretty good. Another thing, too, you guys ought to look into having a video wall. You know what a video wall is? Like that? Up at the libraries and stuff, phase them in. You put information and stuff like that up there. It'd be pretty good.
What kind of
And-
information, things that are going on in town?
Yeah, well, it'd be inside, you know, you could display all kinds of information at the main and stuff like that, so pretty good. Another thing, too, we have, Mr. Landolfi brought up about me last time saying that the only reason why I came back here was to grind an axe. No, I didn't grind an axe. I missed the big lug over there. Come
missed
on,
what?
I missed the big lug over there. Come on, where could you go and be insulted and intimidated while coming up here? And, you know, that's the reason why I come here. That's why people come here. And I don't mind you people attacking me, attacking, you know, Mr. Maris and stuff like that. This is the reason why we're here. And the reason why I was here was for public safety. And you got officers and stuff like that out there drinking, it being covered up, and you people don't want to tell us who the officer is.
Mr.
What?
Zavalka,
Council
we have an
President,
opportunity.
Council President, Council President.
Okay.
All right, listen, I know I'm barking up a wrong tree over here. You don't want to divulge it. It looks bad for you people. You're covering it up, and it's going to come out. You can't have this thing go to trial.
Mr. Tabaka,
You can't have this go to trial, okay?
Can you please
You gotta
sit
cut the deal,
your time is up. Thank
you
you.
gotta cut the deal with the cops. Because if you don't, all the dirty laundry's gonna come out.
Anybody
Guys?
else coming up?
Diana Cravenville, Woodbridge. I know Mrs. Drum and I had spoken about one issue earlier today, but I'm going to leave that to last. The first I want to ask is Woodbridge Township contemplating an ordinance regarding drones? Because I know there was an article in the newspaper, I believe it was last week, that there's a great concern about drones being observed flying in the path of regular airport traffic. And Woodbridge proper is certainly in line with that. I'm sure there's other sections of the township. And I noticed, I think it was in January, there was a man and a woman had come over to the Ross Street School parking lot. They had 4 children with them. And the man had, I know it was not an airplane, a hobby airplane. It possibly was a drone, and he was calibrating it. I did not have my phone with me, and by the time I went inside the house to even call the police to ask about it, he had already put it away and they were leaving. And then about 2 weeks ago, I got home around, say about 11:30 at night. I'd gone up to ShopRite, and as I was getting out of my car, I looked up and there was, it was not an airplane. It was too small to be an airplane. There was a bright white light in the front, and it was not a bird. Totally quiet. So I'm going to assume it was a drone because I have seen a drone. When they dedicated the Edison Tower, there was one there from one of the news media. So I know basically what a drone that is not a hobby drone looks like. So again, in that case, that would have been in flight, and it would have been within the flight patterns of anything headed for, certainly for Newark, or Liberty National Airport in Newark. So again, the question is, had Woodbridge Township contemplated addressing a drone legislation? Because I know there was approved in the State Assembly and the Senate a law. However, as far as I know, Governor Christie has not signed off on it yet.
I am not aware if we are contemplating a drone ordinance. Mr. Landolfi, if you want to comment?
Short answer is yes. Actually, we've been taking a look at it. We're not sure whether it's jurisdictionally it's ours, whether it's the FAA's, which is federal, or whether it's the state's. Frankly, we don't think it's ours, but we have started to do a little bit of research on it. Perhaps Mr. Kaufman could enlighten us a little further.
Well, I think certainly with regard to the ordinance, potential ordinance, I think it's likely to be preempted by either the FAA or the state. Now, the state passed the bill. It's still waiting the governor's signature. I don't have any indication yet whether he's going to sign it or not. I think that in and of itself would preempt it. But I think ultimately this boils down to an FAA regulations. We can't, even the state's going to be challenged to, we tiptoe around those federal rules.
So if we observe something, don't even report it to anyone, not even the FAA?
Well, I didn't say that. I said,
No, but that's what my question is.
yeah, well, if you observe a drone,
Or what appears to be a drone.
well, I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know who you would report it. I guess you would, at this point, you'd have to report it to the FAA because the state has yet to take any jurisdictional charge of it, nor does the township. So I wouldn't discourage you from doing that. But that's going to be tricky too. I mean, it's going to hide. So I think the clear answer is that it's unsettled, is that it's unclear as to where we're at with regard to that. But no, I think if you see a drone, you can report it to the FAA. That at least for now, certainly they have jurisdiction over the airways.
Right.
And so they would be able, their defense in place at this time, because their rules are in place. The
rules, even if the drone law passed, it gets signed, becomes the law in New Jersey, there's got to be rules that are made.
Now, the legislation that was passed in the State Assembly and State Senate, did that designate the height of the drone? Say, like, if I had observed a hobby drone, and when he finally got it calibrated and flying, it was about 8 feet, because it was above the height of the schoolyard fence, which is 6 feet.
My recollection is that it did, but I'll get your name and I'll give you a call.
Okay. All right.
I'm
All
sorry.
right.
No, I don't remember all the details of all the bills.
Okay, and I have another question. With the presidential primaries and general election coming up this year, my question was regarding the polling places. Some changes may have been made, but even places that are still remaining in place. I've often wondered if the number of people turning out to vote in any way is affected by the possible lack of parking places to even go in for a few moments to vote, and if there's any way someone could research that they possibly have what they call emergency parking designated for voters only, and only have so many parking spaces available, but still have them available, so that people can't use the excuse, well, I don't feel like walking.
It's a good idea. Your time is up, so you have my card and my email. I would suggest if you have, any other questions, you feel free to send me an email.
Okay, but will this last one be addressed? My last question, not here right now, but will the council address it?
Her question is, she's thinking that perhaps maybe the low turnout at the polling booths, or perhaps maybe due to lack of parking, and she wants to know if we would consider looking into that in the future.
I think you might see an improvement this year because this is the first full school year that schools will be closed on election day. So for both the primary and generally, well, they always are, but generally, this is the first year. It'll be a full year, including the primary. You should see improvement.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments from the public? Any other motion to close the public portion of the meeting?
Motion? Second.
Any comments or questions, council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
We'll go into our agenda portion of the meeting. We'll start with a little bit of information on Buy Local, which is number 17. We have a new business that is opening up called I-Level Learning Center. It's at 42 Main Street. It will open at the end of April, I believe. And they do tutoring, math, and reading skills. That's 42 Main Street. And then Amici's Italian Deli, or Gourmet Sandwich Shop, opened up at 96 Main Street in Woodbridge proper. And then the Driven Gym which is at 85 Main Street on Woodbridge proper, is a mixed martial arts studio, and they had their ribbon cutting this past Saturday. And I just wanted to say thank you publicly to Yodelight for hosting an autism fundraiser this past weekend for autism awareness. They gave part of the proceeds back to Autism New Jersey. And there were several local businesses that participated and sponsored that, and I just wanted to thank them for helping us out. Number 9, the Youth Leadership next meeting is April 13th at 6:30 at the Evergreen Center in Colonia. And 18 is Walk for a Difference for Autism, April 17th at Martha Jago School at 11 o'clock. In addition to the walk, it'll be a big carnival, and there'll be vendors there, and it's a really nice day. I've attended it in the past. And then number 19, the Chamber of Commerce has a lot of events coming up. I would suggest that you go to the Woodbridge Metro Chamber of Commerce website, or you can call at 732-636-4040. There's networking in Ford's at Isabella's Restaurant, a street fair on Main Street in Woodbridge on May 14th, and a golf outing coming up at the Colonia Country Club on June 6th. That's all I have. Councilman DeLuna?
Thank you. I'll go to the County Greenway. As you may know, the weather has been nice and not nice, back and forth, but it's getting where it's going to hopefully be consistently nice. The County Greenway is a great place to spend a spring afternoon hiking or riding a bike. The Rails to Trails Greenway follows the abandoned Lehigh Valley Railroad along a 3.5-mile trail from East William Street Park and Fords to Middlesex Avenue in Metuchen. connected to several parks in the area, and the Greenway weaves through Fords, Pawtucket, and Edison as a green ribbon that ties the communities together. And moving down to the Woodbridge Waterfront Park in Caseby, and also the CPV electrical plant. The plant has actually fired up in January and has been working. It's supplying over power to 700,000 homes throughout New York and New Jersey metropolitan area. And also behind the chemical plant, the electrical plant, same chemical, much too much TV, is going to be the waterfront park at the Raritan River. It's approximately 30 acres of natural area with restored wetlands and uplands. There's more than 7,000 feet of walking trails circling the restored wetlands. The work has begun. Don't have a date of actually when it's going to be completed, but I was out there several weeks ago, and it's coming along well. It should be really a great place, gathering spot for people just to go to the river. It's about the only place you're going to be able to sit by the Raritan River in Woodbridge Township and enjoy the view over there. So that's coming along. And also the Ford's business community had their meeting, their annual meeting over at the Ford's Firehouse last Monday. If anyone is interested in getting involved in the community organization, you could give Jane McLaughlin a call at the School of European Dance on King George Road, or you can contact the mayor's office. Even if you're not a business owner and you want to be involved and know what's going on in New Brunswick Avenue, I'm sure they would be more than to welcome you to their organization. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Councilman Anderson?
Thank you, Council President. First, I want to go off of my agenda and announce that the Lions Club will be holding their pancake breakfast for their annual fundraiser this Sunday, April 10th, and that begins at 8 a.m. and it's going to be held at the Trinity Episcopal Church. It's $6 for adults, $3 for children 13 and under, and it goes from 8 to 12 p.m. Next, I'd like to announce that all of the township leagues, because Colonial Little League was rained out last week of the parade, but all of the township Little Leagues will be holding their parades in town as they kick off the season for the baseball and softball seasons. We'd like to wish them all luck, and you can check with each one of the leagues to see what time their parades start. I believe Woodbridge's is at 10. And Ford's is at 10:30.
10:30, yes.
Yes,
Down King George Road.
Yes.
From Our Lady of Peace to the park.
Correction. Former president of Woodbridge Little League tells me that Woodbridge Little League is at 12. Next, I'd like you to make sure you check the job bank. If you are out of work right now, there have been some additional positions that are continuously added, but we know that BASF right now is looking for people in all different areas, whether you're technology, management, administration. They have a number of positions that are posted there. The Hall of Fame is presently accepting applications for all township athletes that have been out of high school or graduated from high school at least 20 years. If you feel that you know someone who is worthy of being accepted, please submit their application to the Recreation Department. We have applications in the libraries, the Rec Department, many other areas. If you need one to be sent, we do have them online as well. I'd like to congratulate the Independent Club of Colonia. They held a very, very successful event this past weekend. It was an evening of jazz with Danny Maxon and his quartet. It was very successful and well attended, so look out for their next activity. It's always a good time with the Independent Club of Colonia. And I'd like to mention that tooling around the town, we're still looking for volunteers or teams of volunteers. We do have a number of addresses that have been submitted, but if you're skilled or not skilled, if you just, you can rake up leaves, you could paint, or if you have some carpentry skills, we always appreciate those volunteers. If you, let's see, I have that phone number. Here we go. 602-6015, 732-602-6015, or you could go to tooling@twp.woodbridge.nj.us. And finally, I'd just like to mention, I know it's on your agenda, but I did see that the Woodbridge Animal Shelter is looking for some volunteers. So if you are interested in walking dogs, feeding cats, or anything to do with animals, you're aspiring veterinarian, please stop down to the Woodbridge Animal Shelter. They are looking for volunteers. Thank you. That's all I have.
Councilman Major?
Thank you, Council President. Just a few items. Mr. Henry, if you would please pass along to Bask my thanks for sending a letter to the consultant and forwarding the comments that I had on the Oak Tree Road, Plymouth Magnolia intersection. I appreciate that information being passed along. Also, Mr. Landolfi, just my thanks to the administration for quickly following up on some of the requests that I had relative to housing and property maintenance. I appreciate the prompt response and the effectiveness so far, so thank you again for that. And just a reminder that this Sunday we'll continue with the breakfast with the mayor program. In Islin, the Firehouse on Green Street, breakfast will be between 9 and 10:30, and on Orth Avenue between 10:30 and noon. This is an opportunity for you to get out and not only meet the mayor, but your council representatives, talk about your suggestions and concerns about anything that you have, and also have a chance to get a cup of coffee and something to eat. So we had a great turnout last Sunday, even though the conditions were a bit windy. Hopefully the weather will be nice, and we'll get another great turnout. Thank you very much. That's all I have this evening, Council President.
Councilman Ficarra?
Thank you, Council President. First of all, the Woodbridge Community Center for a while now has had their summer 2016 camp is out and available. Anything that goes on at the community center is posted on njwcc.com. It's very informative. They have Kids Night Out. There's 2 more sessions left. These are themed sessions for ages 4 to 12 from 6 to 9:30 p.m. And the activities vary by each session. The 16th of April is a treasure hunt theme, and May 21st is a Lego Mania. There is a charge for that. But again, you can check in at the Community Center's website, njwcc.com. Moving down to April is Youth Month. You can go on to our website, and there's a full calendar there of activities almost every day for youth in town. And speaking of Youth Month, a big thank you to Director Henry and everyone that was involved in Big Wheels. It was mentioned earlier. It was a big success and somewhat of a tradition in town, and it's thanks in a big part to you and your department and everybody else. So thanks for your good work on that. Moving down to the Mayor's Fitness and Wellness Initiative, I know that Mayor Mack has those of you that wear Fitbits, he has a Fitbit challenge going on that's very interesting. I'm not sure how the rest of the contestants are, but I know the Mayor is bordering on fanatical. He went to bed last night with 28,000 steps. Any of you that knows anything about that, that's a little bit over the top. So it has motivated him. Director Semaluka, I don't know if you have any knowledge of how that's going. I know you've been out of town a little bit, but I think the fact of the matter is a lot of people are motivated, and the mayor's very public about his desire to stay in good shape and his battles and things like that, and I think he serves as a very good role model. So if you're into the Fitbit, you can find it very easy if you go on the website. Director, did you have anything to say, or did I?
I know his dog's getting walked an awful lot lately.
Yeah. Yes.
I think we have to check his, because when I was with him at the jazz concert, he said he was getting steps when he clapped and applauded for the show. So we gotta check and make sure his is technically right.
All right. Well, we'll keep an eye on it. I know he was questioning somebody on there that had more steps than him. I'd have to say, I've had a Fitbit since Father's Day of last year, and he's been on my challenge group ever since, and I have never lost to him until this week. Not only did he beat me, but he beat me by 20,000 steps. So I don't think it's about the competition as much as the the commitment to fitness and to not just talk about it, but to be part of it. So congratulations to the mayor, and thank you for being a role model. Just going down the pizza run way in advance, July the 6th. But what's unusual this year is it will be east of the railroad tracks in Seawarren, mostly around Alvin P. Williams Park. Very interesting along the waterfront. Hopefully a cool breeze, so more information will come out on that. This Saturday, April the 9th, Director Green will have Health Day over at our health center from 9 to 12. A lot of very interesting activities going on. All right. The mayor's walk on the Greenway. Councilman Delina, I wasn't that long. I was just. You got somewhere to go? Councilman Delina, you talked about the Greenway. June the 2nd is the mayor's walk on the Greenway.
Oh.
Mr. Haggerty, maybe we can huddle up and talk about promotion on that. I know it's a ways off, but we'll get that date on there.
Huddle and step at the same time so you get...
Oh, you know he'll do that. But thank you very much for the time, and take that whistle.
Thank you. Councilwoman Meehan?
My agenda is in order. I just want to thank everyone that came out for our Easter event last week. We had well over 350 kids that showed up. It was an awesome event, and it was really due to all the businesses that came out and supported this event and did crafts and games with all the kids and did Easter egg hunts. It was just a great event for the community and the businesses alike. So when we do that together, it's such a great thing. And we raised money for a little girl in Woodbridge, so that was a great thing. We just have a few events coming up in Colonia. First one is this Friday, April 8th at 6:30 is the Colonia Marching Band. We'll be holding their tricky tray at the Colonia Fire Department. Everybody's welcome to come. The money raised for that will go to Project Graduation. St. John Vianney's Boy Scouts will be having their pancake breakfast this Sunday, April 10th at 7:30, between 7:30 and 12. And Chris Jansen, Colonia 5K and Fun Run will be April 16th. And that registration is at 8 o'clock. The fun run starts at 8:30, and the regular run starts at 9. You can sign up on active.com, or you can sign up the day of the event. And lastly, we will be holding a spaghetti dinner for a very vital resident in Colonia who's very sick right now. Her name is Karen Brock, and we will be holding a spaghetti dinner for her on April 17th. And we hope that you'll come out and support her. She's done a lot for our community. So that's April 17th, 1 to 6, and that's what
At the
we have.
Colonia Firehouse?
At the Colonia Firehouse also. We're busy over there. That's all I have.
I just wanted to interrupt and just say that that event was extremely successful. It always is, but I just felt like it was maybe triple of what you normally have. The line seemed to be extremely long. There were a lot of people out there, so
2,000 eggs.
congratulations.
It was good.
Yeah, that's a good way
Community event.
to see how many eggs you go through. But thank you so much for all that you do and how you are able to keep that momentum going. And you do it annually, and it's always for a local recipient of a local family or person who's in need. So thank you, Debbie. Councilwoman De Jesus.
Thank you, Council President. My agenda, item number 6, are police community relations. On this Wednesday, April 6th, tomorrow, they will be at Woodbridge High School for the police interaction class. And they will be giving 3 tours of the police department. One is to a class from St. James Catholic School, one is to a Daisy group, and one, which I think is the most important at this point, is to a father whose son is afraid of the police. On Thursday, April 7th, they will be giving a tour of the police department to school 27 students with special needs. On Friday, April 8th, Detective Sino will be reading to students at school 25 and school 4 and 5. On Saturday, April 9th, they will be attending the annual Township Health Day and setting up a table for bike safety. And on Sunday, April 17th, they will be at the annual Park Walk at School 28 to speak to children about police being friends and helping them if they are lost and letting them see and be familiar with the police car. And another announcement is that they are now accepting applications for the Junior Police Academy. So please reach out to our police department or their website if you are interested in signing up your child to learn more about how the police department works. Number 10, Barron Art Center will be holding, if you don't want to cook and if you want to eat food from different parts of the world come to their International Night Fundraiser Dinner this Saturday, April 9th, from 6 to 9 at St. Anthony's of Padua in Port Reading. The tickets are $25, and all the proceeds will benefit future programming at the Barron Arts Center. If you need any information, please call 732-634-0413. They will also be hosting Woodbridge Township High School Student Works from March 26th through April 12th, and the reception will be next Tuesday, April 12th from 7 to 9 at the Barron Arts Center. So please do go up to the Barron Arts Center and support our youth and their art. And I think it's very important for me to announce in Spanish that we are having the health fair. Este sábado de 9 a 12, aquí detrás de la Woodbridge High School, el Departamento de Salud va a tener su feria de 9 a 12. Es muy importante para los residentes, si necesitan información, ahí es gratis y otra vez es de 9 a 12 y es la feria de salud del Departamento de Salud de aquí de Woodbridge. Gracias.
Thank you, Council President. Councilman Scarlett.
Thank you, Council President. Item number 3, the Woodbridge River Watch will be meeting tomorrow, April 6th, at the main library at 7:30 p.m. downstairs in the room next to the Children's Library. The public is always welcome to attend, deliver some feedback, ask some questions, so if you have the chance, take in one of those meetings. It's the last one we have at the library for the year. The rest are held at Saturdays at the park after we do trail maintenance and gardening. This Saturday, April 9th, speaking of trail maintenance, we have an event at the park around 9:30. We'll be doing some raking, clipping, tending to the gardens. The public is more than welcome to attend. Just make sure you bring some boots. Item number 9, excuse me, Avenel Fire Department will be hosting brunch with the mayor this Sunday, 12 to 1:30. So come on down, ask myself questions, the mayor questions, have some bagels, brunch, and coffee. Again, that is this Sunday from 12 to 1:30. The only other thing is Director Henry, Big Wheels Day. My son is still talking about it, still playing with everything, and still would like to know when we're going back to see the big truck. So it was an excellent event. Thank you very much. That's all the rest of my agenda. Thank you.
Councilman Small.
Thank you, Madam President. My agenda is yours.
Mr. Mitch.
Thank you, Madam President. Under number 1, letters A and B were transfers. We're still working on the police department as is letter C, changing corporate structure. 2, you can continue to hold on number 3. Just a reminder, the annual retail licensee training is set for May 12th at 10 a.m. in council chambers. You can hold 4, 5, 6. Number 7, we'll be sending out postcards in the next couple of months to voters in Ward 2, Districts 2 and 10, and Ward 1, Districts 3 and 12, as we'll be temporarily relocating polling districts due to the construction of 2 new complexes in town. Number 8 is under best practices. Just a quick comment. We received communications last week regarding that from our CFO. If you have any questions about the worksheet, please either contact Mr. Fernandez, Mr. Landolfi, or myself, and we'll get you some answers to that. 9 is a request for a sidewalk waiver at 309 Cheney Hills Road. Unless there's any opposition, that will be prepared for you for action at the next meeting. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Major, you had something you wanted to say?
Yes, thank you for your consideration. I had one item I forgot to mention before. April 23rd, Earth Day will be celebrated at the community center along with Multicultural Day and our Arbor Day celebration with planting a tree. So if you can make it, it's always a good event. A lot of things going on. The Environmental Commission will be there as well as a number of vendors. So please try to stop by. Thank you.
Thank you. And Councilwoman Meehan has...
Sorry, I forgot to mention, I just looked up and I saw Dan Harris out there. Our Colonia cleanup is this Saturday at 9 o'clock over at the Getty Park, Charlie Shaughnessy Park. So anybody come over and help us clean up Colonia, and that's great. Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Landolfi?
Thank you, Council President. A relatively light agenda this evening. The first item is renewal of our memorandum of understanding with the Laborers International Union. What that really does is lets us access that bargaining unit when and if needed to supply laborers. We've been out with various projects, including the Woodbridge River. It's been very successful from our perspective, and we're renewing that MOU. We have 2 housekeeping items: tax overpayment, disabled veteran tax exemption. 2 items not on my agenda. We're going to continue to work with Rutgers over in the Blue Acres area to come up with a plan to provide the ground cover and other types of vegetation to the Conservancy area over there. And the last item, also not my agenda, would be a revision to our pilot agreement on the Renewal Way project. We'll have that for next meeting. That's it, Council President. Thank you.
Director Hubner?
Thank you, Council President. I have the addition of 2 handicap parking spaces, one on South Fulton Street, the other on High Street, both here in Woodbridge proper. Thank you.
Director Green?
Thank you, Council President. I just have one item tonight. It's the Health Department's annual report. I've provided a copy to all council members, and as you can see, the report has been submitted to the New Jersey Department of Health. It's also referred to as the local health report. The local health report mandates that we report a number of different activities, and as such, you will find that we've conducted hundreds of inspections of public facilities and hundreds of complaint responses to our environmental division. Our nursing division has provided various clinics throughout the year for the uninsured, and we investigated a number of communicable disease investigations. Health education has provided programs for youth and adults throughout the year. Animal Control Division continues to provide animal control response and shelter services, and we've taken in hundreds of animals throughout the year. In addition to the mandated New Jersey Department of Health functions, we also oversee a number of other programs. I'm just going to briefly state what they are. Evergreen Senior Center and the new Sycamore Senior Center. The centers provide numerous opportunities and activities for the seniors. The seniors participate in fun and interesting programs ranging from social activities to exercise. Our multi-services program on aging provides social workers and provides social services to the frail or handicapped elderly homebound populations through home visits. The long-term goal there is to prevent or deter institutionalization as long as possible. Our youth center also is a drop-in center for 6th and 8th graders, between 6th and 8th grade, and that's been a tremendous success and provides a variety of programs for those who attend. The Municipal Alliance program funds programs such as Heroes and Cool Kids in the schools, and also our Strengthening Families programs, and continues to be well received. Last but not least, our other notable programs that we held in 2015 include our annual Mayor's Health Expo in October, our Public Health Day in April, our Women's Health Day in September, our flu clinics held throughout the fall, rabies and microchipping clinics held in February, May, September, and we added December through an ASPCA grant. We also added a new animal control services contract with Milltown and assisted Saraville for a short time with animal control services. We also acquired a Shaping NJ grant that provided funds to expand Bucking Pass and support some of our local food banks. And our probably most notable event was the opening of the new Sycamore Senior Center in Port Ready. Lastly, I want to thank the Council Administration for all your support and assistance throughout the year. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Director Samuka?
Thank you, Council President. I have one item tonight, a waiver of stage rental fees. Thank you.
And Director Lusky, happy birthday.
Thank you. Nothing this evening.
A little birdie told me. Sorry, I couldn't resist. You don't have anything tonight?
No. Thank you.
Have a happy birthday. Director Henry?
Thank you, Council President. We have our normal bond releases. I have a water contract, 1230, grid chamber rehab project. Just want to remind all the residents that our free garage sales start this weekend. They'll be starting over in the Colonia area and Island area. And it'll follow up with the free bulk pickup the following week for the same areas. We'll be going through the township within the next month and a half and complete next month.
Mr. Nolan?
Thank you. We have one matter that's not listed. It's the extinguishment of construction easements in and around. There are old construction easements from the overpass at Woodbridge Center Drive and Main Street. There's construction easements. We've requested to extinguish them, and we're going to bring that to you shortly.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.